We will revisit this concept in Week 9 during our discussion on capital budgeting. Since we are practicing the calculations now, let's review net present value. The goal is to understand the net present value of a cash flow over a period of years. This example comes from an ROI, or return on investment analysis, which helps us decide whether to use our capital dollars for a specific project. The question is, what is the net present value if we invest money now and anticipate receiving a certain amount of net income annually from that investment? Let's assume the cost of the capital is the amount we invest. So, what is the net present value of the entire picture? If the capital investment is $500,000, should the organization purchase this equipment, and why or why not? Here is the formula we use to calculate net present value. It might look a little daunting at first, but I will break it down into a timeline picture. The idea behind this formula is to calculate the present value for each year. First, I find the present value for year 1, then for year 2, year 3, and so on. Essentially, the formula calculates the present value for each year, and then I sum the results together to find the net present value. This line represents the net income expected each year. In year 1, an income of $95,000 is expected, while in year 5, it is projected at $250,000. When calculating return on investment, I make a set of assumptions. In this case, I expect net income to increase over the next 5 years. I start out lower because it's a new business and a new service. As a result, volumes directly impacting revenue are expected to be lower at the beginning. However, as time progresses, I expect net income to grow as my volumes increase. Using the same PV formula, I calculate the present value for year 1, which is $86,364. I get this by dividing $95,000 by 1.1 raised to the power of 1 because it's year 1. Then, I proceed with the calculations for each year. In year 2, the assumed income is $115,000. Using the same 10% capital rate, I divide $115,000 by 1.1, raised to the power of 2 for year 2, resulting in a present value of $95,041. After completing the calculations for all the years, I sum them together and get $554,517. We must also account for the $500,000 cash outlay as a negative number at the beginning. Therefore, the net present value is $54,517. We have more money than we started with and do not expect to lose money on the investment. Typically, we compare options to decide how to spend our limited capital dollars. While there are many factors to consider beyond money, the net present value is an important factor. I've used net present value a few times as part of the ROI process and in capital decision-making. Senior leadership compares the net present value of one investment to another, using it as just one piece of information to help make decisions about how to allocate the organization's resources. Let's examine how we can perform these same calculations using Excel. I will transfer our data to an Excel spreadsheet. Here we go. As you can see, we have our 10% annual interest rate and our $500,000 investment and the 5 years of future revenue. To calculate the present value for each year, we will go to cell D7 and enter the equal sign and then the minus sign, and then PV. Then double-click to select it. You can see that Excel tells you what to click on next. First, we will add the interest rate. You can type in 0.10 or click on cell C3. If you click on C3, you will want to use the F4 button to lock this in. Now press the comma button and it asks for the number of periods, which is years. Just click on year 1 in cell D5. The next section is payment. We will skip this by pressing the comma again and move to FV. Here, we will select the $95,000 and then press Enter. Now, you should see $86,364. If it is a negative number, you forgot to enter the minus sign earlier. Great. Now, let's drag this across to year 5. The total is $554,517, the same number. Using the present value formula in Excel is much faster, but there is an even quicker way. Here, we will use the NPV formula. Again, just type equals NPV and double-click. This time, there is no need for the minus sign. Now select the rate and then the comma. For the value, highlight the revenue from years 1 to 5 and press Enter. As you can see, we get the same number all 3 ways. This concludes our lecture for this week. Our Excel assignment will cover questions about future value, present value, and net present value. As always, I will be sure to help you out along the way, and I look forward to seeing your results.